Which beer styles do you think is actually educating customers? Ennoble fermented pills?
For example, that could be interesting, but any other beers than all those fancy things. If you have a beer with 40% of fruit juice and it doesn't taste like beer, how come is it a beer?
Yeah,
that's a fruit juice. If you age a beer in a rum barrel, it tastes just like rum. So at a certain time, drink a glass of rum. If you don't feel the beer and the rum, there is no use. So we lost a bit the balance, and everything is about shooting
being
stuff on Instagram and because you make fancy cans. And I think that's stupid. It doesn't help our industry.
Like I had just had a Cloudwater IPA with like 28 grams of hops a liter, I guess.
Yeah, why wasting so much hop? I don't see the point.
Samuel always says because the guy doing your taxes tells you have the money to do it. But that's not enough of a reason.
No, that's not enough of a reason. And all those kind of supposedly fancy newcomers, they are destroying the industry. I just saw it in the States. I was there 2 months ago, I guess, in April. And in 2 years, the wave of the very knowledgeable people about beers and so on is crawled down. And now it's all about having new beer, the newest beer possible, the freshest beer possible, the fruitiest beer possible. So they destroy all the industry.
How fresh, how much?
And who destroyed that? Instagram and the stupid gypsies. Okay, now? Because every time a new beer. And is every time a new beer really brewing? I don't think so.
Yeah, but I mean, with Jonathan, we tasted for exactly the Beer Geek series, and the original Beer Geek is a reference beer, it seems, for that beer style. So that's the contrast in the range of Mikkeller of having like standardized reference beers as well as 1,000 variants on beer styles as well.
Yeah, but would you think
If
that
there
a
is
brewery producing 2% of outstanding beers, 10% of excellent beers, 10% of very nice beer, and the rest, meaning 72% of garbage, would be interesting and a sustainable business? I don't think so. We have to make 99% of good beers in a good brewery.
So quality over quantity every time, it seems.
No, not the reason. With quantity, you can also deal with other volumes. You can invest in other techniques. So I don't think so. I don't think the smaller the better.
With the development of the beer scene as it is, you had those 15 years or more to push that forward, basically. You're still exporting, is it 75% of your sales?
No, it's 15, 20. No.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not more than that?
No, we have a good local market. And
that's what I was asking about, because that's more interesting, I guess, for a terroir-focused brewery, that you actually have people locally, just like in Burgdorf.
And we're trying to focus on it as much as possible, yeah.
Right, because that's what you love, is brewing.
I like traveling around the world also, of course, but craft beer has to be kind of local. Not in the way we think in Switzerland. It has to be a bit wider than local.
Yeah, that's what, for me, Blackwell seems to be all about in terms of sourcing and using their ingredients very, very locally. And for me, the ultimate argument for craft beer is not only in sensoric improvement, but also a very much in terms of footprint, a sustainable improvement. Plus, you're
that's why we don't
supporting
have cans,
your local.
And we wash our bottles, for example. Because for me, cans is a bloody greenwashing. It's a super fake. We have cans, we are green. No, rubbish. How can you make aluminium? Do you know it? Heavy metals, 1,200 degrees. How to recycle it? If you recycle
how much water it uses? How much water it poisons?
Yeah, that's shitty. So I think the best way is washing the bottles, having a deposit on it, and reusing them during 10 years. That's a good fingerprint.
Exactly. Well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah, let's have some beer, man.